What a nice day to fly my drone. Ah, crap. This is analog. And I don't have my bay. Alright. No problem. Bam. Now isn't that convenient? Hey everyone, I'm really excited to share with you the HDZero Goggle 2. Oh wait, this isn't it. This is the HDZero Goggle 2. Small change, but let's take a look and see what's different. Oh, and did you know you can get it in red now too? I've actually been using this goggle incognito for the past 3 months. So it's gotten a lot of use and it's really held up to all the things that I've thrown at it at the many competitions I've been to in very hot temperatures. HDZero Goggle has been very successful. If you think about it, a lot of people considered it to be the best goggle that you could buy on the market, and it was the first goggle that we made. So of course there's some things that we could have done better. And that's what we've done with HDZero Goggle 2. We've taken an opportunity to revise a few things to make it better and add a few more features. So what have we made better? So what we've done is we've redesigned the Optic module. It's now completely sealed so that dust is very unlikely to get in. It has an IP rating now, and it's actually sharper than it was before, which is pretty great because HDZero Goggle 1 has one of the sharpest optics in the market. You can still install diopter inserts if you need to. They clip onto the top and the bottom. One of the things a lot of people asked us for on the HDZero Goggle is if we could include an analog receiver so that you wouldn't have to attach an external module bay. Well, we've done that now in HDZero Goggle 2, and it works just the same as it does on BoxPro goggle. And I got to tell you, it's really convenient. I can just press a button and I can toggle between analog and HDZero using all the same antennas. It keeps the goggle really slim and compact and lightweight. We also completely redid the analog processing pipeline at the hardware level so that this goggle now has best-in-class analog low signal performance. We also include the Wi-Fi module in HDZero Goggle 2 so that you can wirelessly mirror what you see on your goggle screen to a spectator, which is a really great feature. You can also wirelessly transfer files to a PC or compatible app. Another thing the pilots asked for is if we could include a hard case to protect the goggle. Well, that's now included in the purchase of HDZero Goggle 2, a perfectly fitting hard case for the goggle. So now we include a built-in high-sensitivity analog receiver, and that means that there's no need to buy the $50 analog bay expansion module. And you don't have to buy an $80 to $160 analog receiver. But if you want, you still can do that, and it would plug into here. And it also benefits from the improved low signal performance that we've implemented in the hardware for HDZero Goggle 2. So you can have a nice compact package with no external module bay, or if you want all the antennas and extra flexibility of the dedicated analog module, you can do that too. So new with HDZero Goggle 2 is you can buy it in red or in white. The other way that you can tell the difference between the HDZero Goggle 1 and 2 is the 2 has a true kind of black-gray finish on the bottom, where the Goggle 1 has more of a green finish on the bottom. So should you upgrade to HDZero Goggle 2? That's up to you. A lot of people like to have more than one goggle, and this is just a better version of what you already have. Myself, of course, I've really appreciated the improvements like the dust-resistant, sharper optic, and the built-in analog so that I can just press a button and then view analog pilots on a different channel. These are nice to haves, and it's pretty nice. You know, it's been quite a journey to see HDZero Goggle start as a community project where we asked everybody, hey, what would you want in your perfect goggle? Implementing that, and then seeing it maybe 10% of the people use it at a race. And then the next year I come back and then we're at like 50 to 60%. It just blew my mind that everybody was hopping onto it. And then the next year and the next year, and now we're at, I almost want to say 90% of the pilots that I watched at MultiGP I/O this year had an HDZero goggle. And I'm really happy about that. I'm happy that what we've built together is working and everybody's using it and having a good time. So that's HDZero Goggle, and it's a lot to live up to. So why do people use HDZero Goggle? There are a couple other options. I'm not going to name them. I think the main one is it's the only goggle that offers 90 FPS, aside from our great BoxPro goggle. And it's unmatched in that category. There's nothing else in the world that can offer the low latency and smooth feel of the HDZero goggle. It's just something that you have to experience and use to really understand. And it's pretty clear that anyone that does use it keeps on coming back, and it is very unique. So what are the other reasons I see a lot of people use HDZero Goggle? I see it because it's versatility. You've got HDZero, of course, at its best, and then you have one of the best analog goggles on the market, now even better with HDZero Goggle 2. And then you have HDMI input so that you can bring in HDMI 1080p sources, even high frame rate 100 FPS sources. And it records now. The DVR will record the HDMI source. So it's just an incredibly versatile tool that you have at your disposal. I remember back when we first came out with the HDZero Goggle that some people thought it didn't look cool enough, that this looked too boxy. And now I see everyone just uses it, and it's just a tool. One good example of that is these accessory rails that are here, right? So you can take these patch antennas and just slide it on. And then you don't have to take this off when you transport. It's nice and compact. You know, here's another higher gain antenna when we just slide it right on. And as you can see, these antennas from HDZero Goggle 1 fit onto HDZero Goggle 2, no problem, because it's the same case for the most part. So that versatility, I think, has really proven itself. It's better to have a functional tool than to have a design that looks like an alien spaceship. So while we're talking about it being a tool, here are all of the input and output on this device. So on this side here, we have HDMI input, SD, and then an AV input for like an analog ground station. Then on this side, we have HDMI out, headphone, microphone combo, which we can plug in a nice little microphone to get better quality. For recordings, you got a firmware update plug, and then a head tracking port. And you can also do wireless head tracking using Express LRS backpack. So just incredibly versatile. We also include two faceplate options. There's a narrow faceplate that I have installed here that fits faces like mine the best. And then there's a more flattened faceplate where it doesn't have as much curve near the edges. And that's going to fit more of an Asian type of face rather than a European type of face like myself. And there's no light leak. This is just an amazing experience sitting into this goggle and being fully immersed in what you're looking at. Another really cool thing to see with HDZero Goggle has been how it's evolved over time with the open source developers adding a lot of new features to the goggle. Some things that they added are things like a focus chart, the Express LRS backpack, wireless head tracking actually too. That's something that was added by an open source dev. Better on-screen display support, better DVR options. Let me look up a few more. It's been a lot. Yeah, Wi-Fi options to configure it as a hotspot or to connect to infrastructure mode. Screen sharing options. A full keyboard was added, a virtual keyboard, which I never would have expected. Lots and lots of options. And hey, I'm excited for what else people want to add through the open source community. It's been really, really cool to see how many things have been created. And on the mechanical 3D printing side of things, people are coming up with new faceplates, new ways to mount antennas all the time, goggle skins. These are all the benefits of having the mechanical design open source and the software UI open source for people to add to. And it's definitely made it possible for it to become the community's goggle and to grow with what people need over time. So let's talk about pricing and availability. As you might have suspected, the price on this has gone up due to the increased features and the increased cost to us to make it. So it's going from $599 to $649 globally. And if you live in the United States, like I do, it's $749. Now, before you run away, let me explain. It does cost us more money to make it, and it also includes a lot of value, particularly if you use the analog feature. So with this, you don't need to buy a $50 analog module bay, and you don't have to buy an $80 to $160 analog module, and maybe even the antennas that goes with that. So as you can see there, that's a huge savings, and it's a lot more compact. We also include the hard case, which a lot of people would go out and purchase for about $20. So that's included with the cost, which is great. And you have the wireless screen mirroring feature so that you can share your FPV flights with others. So yes, it does cost $50 more, but it does give you a lot more value, I think. So where can you purchase it? You can purchase it at HDZero.com or for global, and you can purchase it at HDZero.us for USA, and HobbyRC in the United Kingdom, and DroneShop.nl for the European Union, and Mantis FPV for Australia. Check the description for links to each of these. So with that increased price on the HDZero Goggle 2, we do recognize it's going to be harder for some pilots to join in HDZero and have a great time racing and flying analog. And for that, we do have the HDZero BoxPro. This has all of the same functionality of the HDZero Goggle 2, including that built-in analog receiver at $299, which is half of the price. So yeah, you definitely want to look at this if price is a big issue for you. I really find this is super comfortable. It's got a nice big screen in it, very bright. Yes, it's not as good as the instantaneous response times of OLED, but it's way more cost effective, and I really think you'll like it. So these are available at stores worldwide through your reseller, and you can pick up the HDZero Goggle 2 at the links that I posted below, but exclusively from HDZero Direct in the United States. So yeah, options for you. Enjoy. Happy flying. I hope I see you out there. Bye. All right, so I'm going to do a test of a bunch of things. First, analog tiny loop, then an HDZero 65 tiny loop, same size. And we'll compare how they look side by side, and I'll be recording with a TBS Fusion on the HDZero Goggle 1 and the built-in analog on HDZero Goggle 2. Then we're going to take a look at what things look like if we up the camera quality and go up to the Nano 90 in this tiny trainer. We'll look at 60 FPS and 90 FPS. And then lastly, we'll finish it off looking at this. This is the Micro V3 on a 5-inch, which is going to be the best quality, giving us 68 FPS 720 and 30 FPS 1080p. Here's analog 25 milliwatt, and we'll push it a ways and see how it looks. Look at this deer! Wow, couldn't have planned that any better. Oh, that is too dark. So let's push it around this corner here. Oh, fail safe. Let's send it down this trail here. Should push it a bit. Okay, looking pretty good. I'll turn around. So that's pretty low signal there. All right, now we're going to test this 65mm HDZero. I'm going to go fly over this way. It's a nice 65mm. Nobody notices it for the most part. Here I am behind this building. Not too bad. So, looks pretty good. So here's the higher resolution. Looks pretty good. Key here is I'm using a camera with a not broken lens. Looks pretty good. Last but not least, we have Freestyle VTX with the Micro V3, the best camera we have. This is 1080p. Here's 720p. (720p) 4x3. Definitely a nice sharp picture. Yeah, this is flying really smooth now.
Q1 lapping 15.82. Evolve 2 laps in 29.38. Keep 2 laps in 30.52. Evolve 3 laps in 43.3. Keep 3 laps in 44.05.
Oh man. That was brutal. I just, yeah.
Keep 3 laps in 42.0.